welcome to the channel. It's Bua and I appreciate that you're here with me today. Look, we're charging today. We have one of the best-selling EVs in the country right now, the Volvo XC40 with us, and it happens to be the first Volvo on the channel. So excited about that. Look, this one is the single motor, which means it's the lower variant because you get two variants here, either the twin motor all-wheel drive or the single motor rear-wheel drive, which is this one. And this one is pushing out 175 kilowatts, 420 Newton meters of torque. But if you want the real deal, the one that is punchy, even rated below 5 seconds to the 100 kilometers, you're looking at the twin motor, which is pushing out 300 kilowatts and around 670 Newton meters of torque. That's a lot. And I've seen these things punching away. They do actually move. But when it comes to the pricing, this is starting at around, I think just above 1.1 million. And to get the twin motor, you need to add around probably 190,000 or something like that. But it's because it comes with a lot more spec compared to this one. We'll talk about that on the way. You know how we do it here. We get to the road, we talk about everything else. Let's do that. You know, guys, I need to clear something up. I'm getting conflicting information from the spec sheet that I got from the brand when they sent the car and the website, Volvo website. This car is showing 420 Newton meters of torque on the Volvo website, but the spec sheet is showing 330 Newton meters of torque. So I don't know which one is which because this car is just quick when you're moving it off the line. Yes, it's not as quick like it will shock you, but it's kind of quick that you can say, I can't tell the difference between 420 Newton meters and 330 in this case. So those who know can help me with that. Otherwise, you would have seen that I did not press any button when I was putting it into gear. It was ready to go because once you put your foot on the brake, it's ready to go. Basically, it's on. You don't have a start stop engine button, anything like that, because of course this is an EV. But yeah, that is just something that is unusual because even in other EVs you still get the start stop button so that you can be able to turn on and off when it comes to the car. But hey, we need to get on with it. So let's go. So yeah, guys, I think for me, when it comes to this EV, it's one of those that you don't have a lot to complain about because literally they've simplified the concept of EV and it's not complicated in any way. I feel like it's closer to the I sibling, the XC40 in this case. So much that the difference is definitely just that this one is running on electric motors and that one is running on the internal combustion engine. But when I think about it, they simplified things. I mean, even when I'm looking at this car from outside, I don't find that they complicated things. Yes, they deleted that grille that you will get in there, probably mesh, diamond grille, whatever that may be, and they just put like a panel that shows that this one doesn't necessarily need ventilation in the engine. So from that perspective, you can see the difference. But when you look at it overall, it's not far from the internal combustion engine one, and that's something that I like about what Volvo has done. And yeah, I feel like that's the best way to get closer to the people in the current state because we're still transitioning from the internal combustion designs and everything else. This whole aerodynamic design that is happening in the EV world, yeah, it's I understand the functionality of it thereof, but when it comes to appeal, we still need what we are used to transition us properly. I mean, that's something that I like about BMW actually, because they take the normal cars that they have, mostly they look a little bit normal. You just, you know, here and there in the grille you do see the differences, but overall you do get a sense that, you know what, this is still a BMW. Whether you like the normal designs or the EV designs, it's still more or less related, and that's something that I like about Volvo. Looking at this car from outside, the eyes, you know, even when you can see that it's an EV, it doesn't bother you that much from design perspective because they got it right. This car is cute looking, is sophisticated looking from outside. Coming to the side as well, just to look at the silhouette of the car, they didn't change anything actually. I like that because XC40, I always felt that it's a cute car. It's a beautiful looking car. Yes, it's not targeted for everyone, and now that it's an EV, it's even worse that not everyone would be considering it. I understand that, but from the design perspective, I think they did well by keeping what is working for them already, because people are warming up to Volvo for various reasons. Sophistication, I'm not in a hurry. I'm the kind of a person who is a little bit relaxed in life. I'm not looking to be flashy or anything like that, but I need a safe, reliable, and probably like a luxurious car. That's something that I think people who are buying Volvo are looking for. And talking about what people want or prefer or consider in this case, normally you would want to get into a car, and when you're talking premium, we know in the car world it's leather, it's some bit of Alcantara, it's the soft touch materials all over and so on. But Volvo is mostly about sustainability, and when you consider that they do leather-free interiors and so on, they try as much as possible to keep the standard cars leather-free in all aspects. But yeah, I think because you can spec it out, I think the only option that I'm seeing that has like Alcantara and synthetic leather in this case is one where you pay like extra 30k, and then it gives you some extra bits in terms of the design elements of it, because you can see here you do get this one on the topography thing that they have done on the side of the doors and then the dash and so on, where you get like a map. I don't know if this is a European map or something like that, but you can get one with like this material that also lights up in this night to create some ambience and so on. So you do pay extra for those. I think the highest that you can pay on the optional interiors in this case is around 43k or something like that. So it adds quite a lot of money to actually make it look like that. And talking about adding some bits and pieces on it, I mean, this car starts at around 1.1k, and if you want all the specs that you can add on this plus variant, you're looking at what? This paint that is outside, the black one, is Onyx Black, around 5k. Then the interior, as I've already indicated, if you want the most expensive one, it's around 43.7k. And then you get to the heated seats, which this one has. It's winter right now. Yep, you're gonna pay for that as well, 5.5k. Then the LED headlights that are here, they call them pixel headlights, which is around 25.4k, I think. So you're looking at adding around close to 100k just on the interior and exterior specs in this case, of course. So yeah, it can get a little bit expensive, because now it's going to be close to 1.2 million for this one, but it still undercuts the ultimate variant even when fully spec'd, as much as that ultimate variant comes with a lot more spec than this one, and some of the stuff you don't need to add on the other one. So looking at the fact that it's also so powerful, almost double figures of this one, I think it might just be the one that maybe you need to go for, because when you're on the road, I think not everyone's going to catch up. I've seen the EX30 just drop dead living GTIs on a drag strip. So yeah, I think from that perspective, if you are a person who values like performance and so on, that might be the one to go for. And when it comes to spec, I don't think it falls short. It's just that it's the lower spec compared to the other one. But when I'm looking at what it comes with, for example, adaptive cruise control is standard in here, blind spot monitoring is standard, rear view dimming mirrors is standard. I think there's quite a number of things that for me are quite standard in here that I know you won't find in the Germans. For example, the seat adjustments, the electric for the driver, it's standard in here. And when I consider that you don't necessarily pay a lot of money for things like heated seats and so on, it's those kind of things that maybe are adding more to why I'm leaning more towards it as an EV, because others are expensive, but you don't get this kind of stuff. For example, the EQA doesn't come with some of the things that I just mentioned right now. You need to pay a lot more money to actually get those stuff. So in here, I think it justifies a little bit of the price, considering that Volvo is also quite premium overall. And one thing about Volvo is that it has one of the most interactive operating systems, because they use Android Automotive. It's not Android Auto, so it has Google Apps and everything like that. So if you are an Android user, basically you can easily just, you seamlessly interact between your car and your phone without actually having to connect your phone or anything like that, because your details will just be in there from Gmail, whatever that may be. Then you use that account to actually run the car itself. But if you're using the iPhone, you can still connect with the what do you call that? A CarPlay, with CarPlay. And yeah, I'm an Android person, guys. So yeah, so yeah, in here there's no Android Auto. It's just the CarPlay, because then you need to support other functions of that Apple stuff that you guys use it for. All right, but it's time for real talk now. I mean, this is an EV after all, and EVs are not for everyone. I mean, for me, if you don't have a place where you can charge it overnight and probably driving it for like 100 kilometers or so per day, it might not be for you. Because if you're gonna buy it with an aim to say, I love this car, I love the fact that it's an EV, probably it's not gonna cost you much to run it each and every day because of the cost of electricity. I think there are assessments that it might cost you less than petrol or diesel in this case. But hey, look, the fact is you still need a proper house where you can keep this car charged overnight without risking security around it. Because if you are staying in an apartment, you probably need an apartment where probably they have this sustainable stuff and, you know, EV chargers where you can charge it and so on. But if you just in any apartment where you get allocated a parking lot, I don't know how you're going to sustain living with this thing, because it's something else. I mean, you have to pass somewhere, charge it, and then get home, probably taking an hour or so almost every 2 days. I don't think it's going to work for you. All right, let's wait for this Nissan bucket to come through and see how we're doing this. Yep. All right, let's go. Okay, you know, let's try to pull it on standstill. It's not scary. I mean, it is quick, but it's not scary quick like I've experienced with some other EVs and so on. But you can see that it does pull. So I think, yeah, it can do it at around, yeah, I don't know. I can't count. You'll count on video. But I do think that it's about 8 seconds. So it's okay in that sense. It's not scary quick like I've experienced with other EVs, because with other EVs, like if you put your foot down like that, it pushes you in the seat and you can feel that, you know what, I might get a little bit sick, especially from passenger perspective, because the driver knows what they're doing. But otherwise, you do get some good level of insulation, especially when you're on the road like this. The sound system can help you. I think this has one of probably the best standard sound system that I've had. This one is the standard, doesn't come with the Harman Kardon. Harman Kardon, you get it on the higher spec. So yeah, it's an 8-speaker sound system. It's quite good. Feels like the subwoofers are in the front though. I don't know. Let me play it for you. Yeah, and that's how it sounds. Look, it is a good sound system, I have to tell you that. It does actually help a lot in reducing the exterior sounds and so on. I can only imagine how's the Harman Kardon that you get in the higher spec, sorry. So yeah, from that perspective, I think it is a good sound system. Talking about insulation though, overall, it's okay to a large extent, but not okay for 1.1 million. And especially because when I was testing the car, at some point it was raining and I started getting a lot of interior noises from the wet tarmac just coming down. I think it was just coming down from the door panels, like down there. I don't know if it's something that maybe I'm very finicky about, but it's something that just bothered me a bit. That no, I think it's coming in quite a lot. But the road noises as well, wind noises, they're quite manageable. I can put them at around 1 million. I think they are quite fair when it comes to that. Overall, the car on the road, it's well planted. It knows how to behave. Yes, it's not the most agile because this is an SUV, of course, that is riding quite high. But overall, I can't complain about the driving dynamics, the vision, everything else, the comfort as well, because the suspension can soak up the bumps, especially on like flat surfaces that are just as smooth as this one. So from that perspective, I think it is quite a good car. From a driving perspective, I can't even complain much about it. Maybe just the stuff that I can just be thinking about is that when you're pulling it hard, you get this feeling that it's like you know, when you're on the runway and the train, what? Well, the plane is about to take off. There's these vibrations that are coming in. They're not bothersome, but you can feel when you're pulling it hard that it does these vibrations from the steering wheel, but you get used to it over time. Overall, it drives quite well. I can't really complain much about how it drives. And yeah, I can live with this car. Actually, this is one EV that I think for me, I can live with for a very long time without complaining, because even from sitting perspective as well, I love the under thigh support that you get on the seats as well, because it's quite a practical car as well from the perspective of just overall as a car, not an EV. You get a lot of spaces in here. You get Type-C USB chargers in here. It's sufficient cup holders, even the way they're placed, the way you're sitting as well. There's plenty of space at the back. I had kids at the back. I don't even feel like with my sitting position I need to worry about the space as well. Going to the boot, you're talking at around what? I think it comes at just above 400 liters in terms of boot space. So that is almost normal to the size of this. The cars that you find, like I said, the Corolla Crosses, it's even more than Jolion's, but Tiggo 7 Pro, it comes with this. You're talking the Mercedes GLA, it's around the same as well. Looking at your X2 BMW, almost the same as well. So from that perspective, I think the practicality of it is quite sufficient. I'm impressed with that. This one though doesn't come with a spare wheel, so just be aware of that you will need to get somewhere else when it comes to that. But otherwise, as a car, living with it, I can't really complain much. Just that when it comes to living with EVs, we are talking consumptions that are just, for now, yeah, they're not conducive for long distances and so on, because on paper they're saying it can do 478 kilometers on one charge, but the battery pack in here is like 69 kilowatt hour. So I'm thinking 69 kilowatt hour, I need to divide that by 478 to get like whatever consumption, but I'm doing 19,400. If I'm doing 19,400, 19 times 2 is 38. 38 times 2, we're talking 76. That is 400 kilometers already. And it can't even give me 400 kilometers because it has 69 kilowatts hour. So I need 76 kilowatt hour battery to do 400 right now. And only the twin motor can do that because it has 78 kilowatts hour battery, I think. So from that perspective, I don't think consumption is going to be on your side. So just be careful around that. I don't think, realistically, I think this is a 350 kilometers kind of a car. So from that perspective, I think if you normally just do around 300 kilometers, maybe you can handle those kind of trips, but you still need a good charger at the end of it so that you can come back home. Otherwise, you're going to have to use a home charger and you're going to have to wait for around 7 hours or so. So from that, I think those are the challenges that are there with all the EVs. But otherwise, the car, I can't complain much. Drives well, knows how to behave on the road, doesn't even feel like any other thing but a smooth driving vehicle that you can get any day. Use it. Vision perspective, I'm impressed. Driving on it like long distance as well, I wouldn't feel tired as I do have sufficient support. But overall, after service, you do get 100,000 kilometers of 5-year full maintenance plan from Volvo as standard, and then you'll also get a 5-year 100,000 kilometer warranty, or 8 years 160,000 kilometer battery warranty. So overall, I think, yeah, for those who love EVs or considering them, this is probably the simplest you can get in terms of EV ownership. From that perspective, I think that's all from me today. Thank you so much for being here with me. Truly appreciate it, and I am out.